Hello, guys. This is Lydia, the lifestyle coach, coming to you with another live feed. And so excited to be able to give you like a real story, real experience today. I think this is so important. And I just love sharing and celebrating with you because everything that I tell you guys. So, what we do is I'm Lydia, the lifestyle coach. We end eating disorders using nothing but our brains. That's it. Just our brains. Knowing how our brains work, using that to our advantage to be able to end any cycle, including binge eating, bulimia, overeating, chewing and spitting, over exercise, body hate. All of these sorts of patterns are just habits of thought. And when you know how to break them, then they're over and they're gone. And so none of this matters. None of this matters. None of what I tell you matters. None of any of these theories matter unless it works for real people in the real world. And that's why nothing that we do is based on theory. Everything that we do is based on, okay, like what actually works, what actually gets people free, and then the actual people that have gotten free. And that's what everything is about. So I'm going to share with you guys today this beautiful story of one of our clients. And I'm just, celebrating Hanna. We're going to call her Hanna, celebrating Hanna and her amazing experience. And so I want you guys to just check in with yourselves, as you're hearing Hanna's story, if there's something that stands out to you, like some insight that you're gaining, something that you relate with in this journey, then I would love for you, chat and heart and smiley face and, whatever, because this is a real person and we're celebrating her today. So excited for you, Hanna. Wink. And thank you so much for writing your story. That's the beautiful thing is we just, offer if somebody wants to write their experience of, working with us and being in the program. And then we get these just amazing, just testimonies of the freedom and how far they've come, and a lot of stuff like we didn't even know, because we're just showing them how to end their eating disorders and get free, but we had no idea just like how much they've been through and where they've come from, because honestly none of that matters in getting free. Like we just show people how to get free, but then with actually, ending this, we don't have to dig up all that old stuff, right? But a lot of it comes out in these beautiful stories. So hi, so fun to see you guys. Say hi. Feel free to just say hello too. That's fun. It's nice to know that people are saying hello. All right, so celebrating Hanna today. So before starting the Beat the Binge program, I had 25 years trying to hide my secret of bulimia. When we talk about bulimia, so I'm stepping out of the story for a minute. This is anytime you have a compensating behavior. So like if you're overeating and then you're, exercising the next day to try to make up for it, that's a form of bulimia, how we speak of it, right? So there's some compensating behavior. So whether it's using laxative, whether it's purging, whether it's, trying to restrictively diet. So like for me with my bulimia for so many years, I would binge and then I would go on these, really restrictive diets and just sort of starve myself and over exercise. And it comes from a place of just wanting to undo the mistake that you did. It comes from seemingly like a good place of like, well, I just want to make up for my mistakes so that I can start fresh. But then it turns into a cycle. And that's bulimia, right? And these things always get worse. All right. So during those 25 years, the biggest thing that bulimia stole from me was the quality time that I could have been the quality time that could have been better spent focusing on my family and my friends. I grew up in a pretty normal house and I had loving parents who gave me a great childhood. And I remember once in 5th grade, one of my mom's friends who was a teacher at my school mentioned that I was getting the 5th grade pudge. And this was the first time I remember thinking that other people saw me as being chubby or fat. And looking back at childhood pictures, I was nothing more than an average size. And for the life of me, I still have no idea why that lady made that statement. All right, so side note here, so many of us start this eating cycle by just the idea that we're not okay. And we usually hear that from someone else. It might be our mom who puts us on a diet. It might be a boyfriend who, dumps us and then we think it's something wrong with us physically. It might be, just lots of different ways this can start. Essentially, it doesn't matter how it starts. We can just end it. But a lot of times it starts from some sort of comment that comes up that, people say, some just offhanded thing of, just like, oh, getting a little bigger or whatever. And on the one hand, it's a great thing for our society to just stop commenting on each other's bodies. Like, here's a thing for the holidays, guys. How about with every little girl that you see, you don't comment on her body? How about with every person that you see, You don't comment on their body. You don't comment on their weight. You don't say they're looking great if they're smaller, and you don't say what happened or, worried about them if they're looking bigger. What if all of our compliments were just focused on who they were as a person and not the size that they are? Because that's not a decider of who they are. But on the one side, there's that thing, right? That would be a great thing to do. And then on the other hand, what is it about our society that the mention to a little girl in 5th grade or 3rd grade or 2nd grade that she is fat is so incredibly impactful that we feel like we have to do something about it, that we have to manipulate our bodies? Because people can say lots of things. They can say like, you're dumb. Okay, that might give us some concepts, but it doesn't give us like this huge disorder that lasts for 25 years. So yes, let's improve that. Let's not comment on each other's bodies. Let's practice some body acceptance, but then let's also examine the society that we're in, where a woman's weight is such a big deal that it changes the entire course of a person's life and a little girl's life because somebody says she's fat. Why on earth is that so impactful? That's something to look at right there. Okay, so back to the story. However, it was forever burned into my memory. I decided that same year that I wanted to be a cheerleader and do gymnastics, so I started classes. This led me down to the next pivotal road in my life. I became a cheerleader and in high school made the competition squad. And it was important to be small so you could be a flyer and to look good in the uniform. So the spring of my sophomore year, I decided I really needed to lose weight. I think I was about 5'3" and weighed 115 pounds. I went to the store and bought my first diet pills. They made me shaky and feel weird, so I decided that wouldn't work. Then one night after dinner, it happened, and I became bulimic. Over the summer, I dropped to 95 pounds, and everywhere I went, people noticed. Thinking back now, there is no way I looked healthy, but people told me how great I looked, and I excelled in cheer. So much I ended up with a college scholarship to cheer at a 4-year university. Before that, my senior year, my parents found out about my eating disorder. Someone at the school called them and reported me being sick in the bathroom. My mom took me to a pediatrician who told me to eat a healthy diet. And then I was on my way to continuing my disordered eating. To this day, my mom and I have not spoken about this once since my teenage years. I sometimes wonder if it's because she too may have an eating disorder, but we have never discussed it. So back to college. I continued my disordered eating through college and into my marriage. My husband knew about the bulimia when we got married and would encourage me to get help. However, no counseling or doctor could help me with the issue. They wanted to dredge up other issues about my life, even though many of the things we discussed were just normal life issues. There was one therapist that even decided this whole disordered eating was about sex. I still have no clue what she was talking about. So I would research and read and work myself into a panic and end up at a therapist's office and then drop out within a month because it all felt useless. Then one day I found Lydia's Facebook page, which led me to some videos and changed my life forever. Not only have the principles you taught me changed my eating, they have helped me recover some, not all, of my self-esteem that had been lost over 25 years of letting my chatter tell me what I'm not. And I am forever grateful. Now I can eat a normal meal without feeling guilty. My food rules are gone and I can keep whatever foods in the house I want without fear of a binge. This has freed up so much time for me to just be present in life with my family and friends. I'm still working on body image, but it's one step at a time. And I also recognize chatter across multiple areas of my life and can call it out for what it is. The biggest surprise is that I can eat normally and my weight did not drastically change. So yay, Hanna, we are so excited for you and so happy for you. I want you guys to realize, I mean, this is not an uncommon thing. This is the world that we live in. These are the things that we celebrate every day. 25 years being in this cycle, trying everything, it's just being worried about this, really dedicated to changing this. 25 years and it never ended. And we worked with Hanna for less than 8 weeks. She's done. She's out of the cycle. She's not bulimic anymore. This is not something that is a difficult thing to change. But it seems really difficult when most things out there that people go to try to get help with make it worse. Of course that makes you feel difficult. That makes you feel broken. Of course that makes it feel difficult. So I want you guys to realize all you need is your brain to fix this. And going into a holiday season and being around the people that we care about and going into another cycle of, okay, well, am I going to focus on the people, or am I going to think about the food the whole time? And what am I going to do? And how long am I going to last? And, how many days am I going to let myself eat something? And then what am I going to do to make up for it? And how could I possibly work out enough over the holiday season to battle all the cookies? And what's going to happen when all of the cookies come by the house? And, what's going to happen with all of these holiday parties that we're going to? And I feel awful missing out on holiday parties, but I don't want to go and eat the food. And then I go to the holiday party and I do eat the food and I binge, or I don't eat the food. And then I come home and I binge on just stuff while my kids are asleep. Like, this is all just a really difficult and complex and awful thing until it's not, until you're done. And if you guys feel like, okay, like I would love that to happen for me. I would love to be able to not have food rules, to be able to be at peace around food, to be able to go to a holiday party and have no idea. So I went to a party, I guess it was Sunday, just a few days ago. And I couldn't tell you all the food that was on the table. Didn't spend a lot of time there. Yeah, I had some food. I had whatever I wanted. I had some stuff. It wasn't that great. I had some other stuff. The guacamole was really good. Wow, great recipe. But it wasn't a big thing in the night. And before, that would have been everything. Before, I would have been able to name everything on the table. I would have been able to name how many times I went by. I would have been stressed whether to throw away my plate or whether to hold on to my plate. And if I hold on to my plate, then that means I'm going to have more. And that's not okay. But then if I throw away my plate, then it's embarrassing to get another plate because I know I'm going to have more anyway. And maybe I shouldn't have any of this. And maybe I should just have something when I get home. Or what if I can get through tonight and then not have anything? And then won't that be amazing? And it's just like this noise where you're talking to the people that you could be deepening your friendships and your connections with, and you're thinking about food. And it's awful. And on the other side, it's wonderful to be free. So just, checking in. How many years of life do you think you guys have left? Really, how many years of life do you think you're going to be on the planet? And how many of those are you okay with continuing with an eating disorder? And if you were absolutely done and free from it, what would it mean to have 40 or 60 or 20 years of your life where you didn't worry about food anymore? And that's why we're here. And that's exactly what we do. That's the cause. We do not have to have eating disorders on the planet anymore. That's the fact. Like, we know how to be done with them. Like, we've done this hundreds and hundreds of times. And it's like, this is our message and this is why we're out here. But it's like, people choose if that's what they want or not. It's like, not everyone's coming. But if this is something that you guys just want to be free from, you can have a free session with us. You can go to lifewithlydia.com/apply. There's a calendar page there where you can just book a session with us. And what we're going to help you with is to get that solid foundation of freedom. With anything that you build, you have to have a solid foundation. You have to have correct principles to lay that on. And with that, we've got to know, you and I, you and your coach, or, whoever on our team that you're talking to, you both have got to understand really what the issue is. A lot of times it's not what you think it is. Sometimes it's something completely different. You've got to really understand what the issue is, what the cycle is right now. And then you've got to understand really what you want on the other side. It's like two different islands, right? It's like, you've got to know where you're at. You've got to know where you want to go. And we have the bridge. We can bridge in between. That's what we do all the time. I mean, we know how to do that, but we've got to understand for you those two different things and get you that foundation of freedom so that we can either show you how to get free and close that gap, or let you know what you need to do to get free. And that might not be us. That might not be our team. And that's okay. There's no judgment either way, but either way, you have that incredible value of that foundation. And that's something that we're willing to do for those who are really ready to be done. And please do not, book a session with us unless it's something you're serious about, unless this is something that you really want to fix, unless this is something that is a big deal in your life that you want to be free from. It's not for those who are just interested. It's for those who are really committed to their freedom. And if that's not you, that's okay. You can hang out. You can be here. We're having a good time. It's all good. But please don't book a session unless you're very serious about fixing this, because, we have, limited availability. We have a small team, and we want to help everyone who needs help. We have a long waiting list. So if you find a spot, snag it right away. But we really want those spots reserved for those who are really ready to be done and to be free, because life is amazing on the other end. And so we're here to help those who want help. So anyway, this is Lydia, the lifestyle coach, signing off and celebrating this amazing woman again. Thank you so much for sharing your story and for being part of this journey. So bye, guys.